Welcome to our deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling dietary fiber.
Ooh, fun.
You know, it's one of those things we always hear about, but
Yeah.
maybe don't always fully understand. So we've got these two academic articles,
But
one in English, one in Spanish. They really go in depth on fiber.
that's great.
And, what struck me was how much there actually is to know about this
Right.
seemingly simple nutrient.
Yeah, it is fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And even just defining it,
Yeah.
the definition of fiber can be a bit tricky. The Spanish article even says,
Oh,
fiber isn't a substance but a concept.
okay. Now that is intriguing.
Yeah.
How do we even start to define something that's more
Yeah.
of a concept than like a thing?
Yeah. Well, I guess we start with the basics.
Okay.
Fiber is basically the part of plants that
Mhm.
we can't digest. It's mostly made up of carbohydrates and lignin,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the key is it passes through our small intestine
Okay.
pretty much intact.
So it's not like fueling us like other carbs directly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's useless.
Right.
This is where that concept part comes in.
Yeah.
You have all these different types of fiber, soluble versus insoluble,
Okay.
fermentable versus non-fermentable,
Mhm.
and they all
Mm.
interact with our bodies in different ways. There's even this newer category called functional fiber,
Okay.
which includes certain carbs that technically are digestible,
Okay.
but still act a lot like traditional fiber.
Wow. This is already making me realize that I need to like up my fiber game.
For sure.
But before we get into all that,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about something we hear a lot about gut health these days.
Uh-huh.
How does fiber fit into that whole picture?
Ah, the gut connection.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting. So you see, our colon
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is home to just trillions of bacteria.
Yeah.
It's a whole ecosystem living inside us.
That's wild.
And as the Spanish article points out,
Yeah.
this gut flora starts developing right from when we're born and is shaped by all these factors throughout our lives.
It's mind-blowing to think about all that bacteria in there.
It is.
So what does fiber have to do with all that?
Well, fiber is basically a feast for the beneficial bacteria in our colon.
Okay.
And they break down the fiber through this process called fermentation.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're doing that,
Yeah.
they produce these amazing compounds called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs.
SCFAs. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where I sometimes get lost
Sure.
in the sciencey stuff.
Okay.
Can you break that down for me?
Of course. Think of SCFAs like the reward for the good guys
Okay.
for breaking down that fiber.
Okay.
There are a few key ones: acetate, propionate, and butyrate.
Okay.
And they play a crucial role in keeping our bodies running smoothly.
Okay, so it's not just about fiber itself, but what
No.
it's doing
Yeah.
to the gut bacteria and then these
Right.
amazing byproducts they're creating.
Precisely. And this is where we move beyond that idea
Yeah.
of fiber just keeping us regular.
Right, right.
These SCFAs have a hand in so many things,
Wow.
from our hearts to our blood sugar,
Yeah.
potentially even our brain.
Okay, now I am intrigued. Let's dive into these surprising benefits. I think
Yeah.
most people, myself included, when we think of fiber,
Yeah.
we think of,
Regularity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Uh-huh.
But it's really just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
So let's start with heart health.
Okay.
Soluble fiber, in particular,
Yeah.
can actually lower cholesterol levels.
That's something I've always wondered about. How does fiber,
Yeah.
something we can't even digest,
Right.
affect our cholesterol?
It's like this little dance happening in your digestive tract.
Okay.
So the soluble fiber binds to cholesterol,
Uh-huh.
which prevents it from being absorbed into the bloodstream.
Okay.
It's like a sponge soaking up the cholesterol before it can cause any trouble.
So it's like a bodyguard for our hearts.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive.
And there's more. A large study found that fruit fiber, specifically a type called pectin, was the most effective at lowering cholesterol,
So an apple a day does keep the doctor away
at least when it comes to heart health.
when it comes to heart health, yeah. And what about blood sugar control?
Yeah,
I've heard fiber is important for that too.
absolutely. Both soluble and insoluble fiber can help regulate blood sugar
Okay.
in people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
I'm guessing it has something to do with how our bodies absorb sugar.
You got it. Fiber slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream,
Okay.
which helps prevent those spikes in blood sugar
Oh,
after you eat.
makes sense.
It also improves something called insulin sensitivity,
Oh, okay.
which is basically how well your body responds to insulin,
Okay.
the hormone that helps your cells use glucose for energy.
So it's like putting the brakes on the sugar rush.
Exactly. And this is especially important for managing something called metabolic syndrome,
Okay.
which is basically a cluster of conditions that increase your risk
Uh-huh.
of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes.
So fiber is a multitasker,
It is.
helping with heart health,
Yep.
blood sugar.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing how something so simple
I know,
can
kind of.
have such a big impact. Now, I'm also curious about the connection between fiber and colon health.
Great segue.
Yeah.
This is where one of those SCFAs we talked about, butyrate,
Uh-huh.
really shines. It seems to play a role in protecting against colorectal cancer.
Really? That's incredible.
Yeah.
How does it do that?
Well, butyrate seems to have the ability to inhibit the growth of tumor cells.
Okay.
So it's like a security guard for your colon.
Okay, so it's like the fiber is fueling these good bacteria that
Right.
are producing butyrate,
Exactly.
which is then helping keep our colons healthy. It's
Yeah.
a chain reaction.
It is.
But I have also heard that some studies have found conflicting results
That's true.
about the link between fiber and colon cancer risk.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, not all studies have found a clear connection.
Okay.
It's a complicated issue with a lot of factors involved.
Right.
But there is some promising research on the role of fiber
Okay.
in managing other colon conditions.
Like what?
Well, for instance, there's a study on Plantego ovata,
Okay.
which is a type of fiber supplement that showed really positive results
Okay.
for people with colitis
Okay.
and inflammatory bowel disease.
Yeah.
And then there's diverticulosis.
Ouch, that doesn't sound fun.
No, it's not.
So how does fiber help with that?
It helps prevent it by adding bulk to the stool,
Okay.
making it easier to pass and reducing pressure on the colon.
So it's like a gentle nudge for our digestive system,
Exactly.
helping things move along smoothly.
Yep.
It seems like fiber is pretty important
It is.
for keeping our colons happy and healthy.
Absolutely. It
Yeah.
really is remarkable how something we can't even digest
Right.
can have such a profound impact on our overall well-being.
With all these amazing health benefits, I'm starting to think we should all be aiming for a more fiber-rich diet. So how much fiber should we be getting each day?
The general recommendation for adults is between 20 to 35 grams per day.
Okay. And it's important to remember that both soluble and insoluble fiber are essential, right?
You got it.
So where can we find these different types of fiber?
Well, insoluble fiber is abundant in foods like wheat bran,
Okay.
whole grains, vegetables like peas and cabbage,
Uh-huh.
and mature fruits. Soluble fiber, on the other hand,
Yeah.
is found in things like oats,
Okay.
prunes, carrots,
Okay.
citrus fruits, beans, and other legumes.
So it sounds like variety is key here.
Absolutely. It's always best to get your fiber from a variety of sources.
Okay.
That way you're getting a mix of both types,
Mm-hmm.
along with all the other amazing nutrients those foods have to offer.
This is all such valuable information.
I agree.
I'm already starting to rethink my own dietary choices.
You too.
But before we get into the practicalities of boosting our fiber intake,
Yeah.
let's just take a moment to reflect on what we've learned.
Okay.
We've learned that fiber is more than just a digestive aid. It plays a vital role in heart health, blood sugar control, and even colon health.
It does.
And we've only just begun to scratch the surface of its potential benefits.
Exactly.
I'm already wondering about the
Yeah.
role of fiber in other areas of health.
For sure.
But for now,
Yeah.
let's pause here and give our listeners a moment to digest all this
Okay.
amazing information. We'll be back soon to explore even more
Sounds good.
about the fascinating world of fiber. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of fiber. In the last part, we were talking about all these amazing benefits of fiber, from heart health to blood sugar control, and even its role in a healthy colon. It's really incredible how much this one nutrient impacts our bodies.
It is fascinating, isn't it? And we've only just begun to explore the depths of its potential. It's like we're on an archaeological dig, uncovering layer after layer of fascinating insights about fiber and its role in our well-being.
Exactly. And speaking of digging deeper, something that's been on my mind is the role of fiber in our evolutionary history. I mean, our ancestors ate a very different diet than we do today, right?
It's absolutely. Our ancestors consumed significantly more fiber than we do, often 2 to 3 times as much. Their diets were rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, all excellent sources of fiber.
So it's like fiber was a staple in their diets, not just a side dish like it often is today.
Precisely. Their guts were constantly being bombarded with fiber, which, as we've learned, fuels those beneficial bacteria and leads to all sorts of positive downstream effects.
That makes sense. So, how has our modern diet, with its abundance of processed foods and lack of fiber, impacted our gut health?
That's a key question. The highly processed, low-fiber foods that are so prevalent in modern diets have led to a decrease in the diversity and abundance of beneficial gut bacteria. It's like we've created a monoculture in our guts, where only a few types of bacteria can thrive, while others struggle to survive.
And this lack of diversity in our gut microbiome can have consequences, right?
Absolutely. This shift in our gut microbiome has been linked to a variety of health problems, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even autoimmune diseases. It's like a domino effect, where a lack of fiber leads to an imbalanced gut, which then sets the stage for a whole host of health issues.
It's almost like we've starved the good bacteria in our guts by depriving them of their primary food source, fiber.
That's a great way to put it. And without enough fiber to feed on, these beneficial bacteria can't thrive, which disrupts the delicate balance of our gut ecosystem.
So, increasing our fiber intake is like rewilding our internal landscape, reintroducing those beneficial bacteria that have been struggling to survive.
Exactly. By incorporating more fiber-rich foods into our diets, we can help restore the balance of our gut microbiome and reap the many health benefits that come with it.
This brings up another question that's been on my mind. We've talked about soluble versus insoluble, fermentable versus non-fermentable, but are all fibers created equal? I mean, is there more to the story than just those basic classifications?
There is. Different types of fiber have varying effects on our gut bacteria and consequently on our overall health. For example, soluble fibers like pectin found in fruits and beta-glucan found in oats tend to be more easily fermented by gut bacteria, producing those beneficial SCFAs we discussed earlier.
And those SCFAs are key for so many things, from reducing inflammation to regulating blood sugar and even potentially playing a role in brain health.
Precisely. On the other hand, insoluble fibers like cellulose, found in whole grains and vegetables, add bulk to stool and help promote regularity. While they may not be as easily fermented, they still play an important role in gut health by keeping things moving along smoothly and preventing constipation.
So it's about finding the right balance of different fiber types for optimal health.
Exactly. And this balance can vary depending on individual needs and health goals. Someone looking to manage their blood sugar might focus on soluble fibers, while someone struggling with constipation might benefit from increasing their insoluble fiber intake. It's like creating a personalized recipe for your gut health, using a variety of fiber types to achieve the desired outcome.
This is starting to sound like a choose-your-own-adventure for gut health. What are some practical tips for incorporating more fiber into our diets? I mean, we've all heard that we should eat more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, but sometimes it's hard to know where to start.
Well, a good starting point is to aim for those 20 to 35 grams of fiber per day. And as we mentioned before, variety is key. Include a mix of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes in your diet. Think about adding color to your plate. A vibrant mix of fruits and vegetables is not only visually appealing, but also a great way to ensure you're getting a variety of fiber types.
What are some easy swaps that people can make in their daily routines?
Here are a few ideas. Swap white bread for whole grain bread. You're still getting your sandwich fix, but with an added boost of fiber. Choose brown rice over white rice. It has a slightly nuttier flavor and a chewier texture, and it's packed with more fiber. Add beans or lentils to soups and stews. They're a fantastic source of both soluble and insoluble fiber, and they add a hearty, satisfying texture. Snack on fruits and vegetables instead of processed snacks. Reach for an apple, a handful of berries, or some carrot sticks instead of that bag of chips. Sprinkle chia seeds or flax seeds on yogurt or cereal. They're tiny but mighty sources of fiber and can easily be incorporated into your breakfast routine.
Those are all great tips. It's about making small, sustainable changes that add up over time.
Absolutely. And remember, gradual changes are best. Increasing your fiber intake too quickly can lead to digestive discomfort, like gas bloating. Listen to your body and adjust accordingly.
Okay, so we've talked about the amazing benefits of fiber and how to get more of it in our diets. But what about fiber supplements? Are they a good option for people who might not be getting enough fiber from food alone?
Fiber supplements can be helpful for people who struggle to meet their daily fiber needs through diet alone. However, it's always best to get your nutrients from whole foods whenever possible.
Why is that?
Whole foods contain a complex matrix of nutrients that work synergistically to benefit our health. Fiber supplements, while beneficial, may not provide the same level of complexity. It's like the difference between listening to a single instrument and listening to a full orchestra. Both can be beautiful, but the orchestra offers a richer, more nuanced experience.
That makes sense. It's like the difference between taking a multivitamin and eating a rainbow of fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. Plus, whole foods offer additional benefits like vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that fiber supplements may lack. So while fiber supplements can be a useful tool, they shouldn't be a substitute for a healthy, fiber-rich diet.
I completely agree. It's all about finding the right balance for your individual needs and preferences. And we're back for our final deep dive into the fascinating world of fiber. I feel like we've uncovered so much already, from the different types to its surprising health benefits and even its role in our evolutionary history.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It seems like the more we learn about fiber, the more we realize just how much we don't know.
totally. It really feels like we've only just scratched the surface. What's really stuck with me is that fiber's impact goes way beyond just, keeping things moving.
Oh, absolutely. It's so much more than just a digestive aid. It plays a vital role in a whole bunch of bodily functions, from heart health and blood sugar control to gut health and even, as we just talked about, mental well-being.
It really is incredible how something we can't even digest can have such a huge impact on our overall health. So as we wrap up, what are some key takeaways that you want our listeners to remember?
Let's see, a few essential things to keep in mind. First, fiber is an essential nutrient, not just a digestive aid. It's crucial for tons of things like heart health, blood sugar, gut health, and even mental well-being.
Right, it's working hard behind the scenes.
Exactly. And another thing to remember, not all fibers are created equal. Different types have different benefits. So try to get a variety of those fiber-rich foods in your diet, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes.
A good mix.
Yes, and remember, the recommended daily intake for adults is between 20 and 35 grams. Increase your intake slowly and drink lots of water to avoid any digestive discomfort. Listen to your body and find what works for you.
Good advice.
And lastly, even though fiber supplements can be helpful, whole foods are always the best source of nutrients.
I think we can all agree on that.
They just offer so much more than a supplement ever could.
It's about getting the whole package deal.
Exactly.
It sounds like incorporating more fiber into our diets doesn't have to be a huge, overwhelming task.
Right. Small changes can make a big difference.
Yeah, just start incorporating more fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes into your meals and, find what you enjoy.
Yeah, make it fun. And remember that our gut microbiome is always changing. The food choices we make every day can really affect the balanced bacteria in our gut, which in turn impacts our health in so many ways.
It's like we have this power to shape our own gut microbiome.
We do. And by nurturing a diverse community of those good bacteria, we're setting ourselves up for a healthier and happier life.
I love that. So to our listeners, as you go about your day, think about the food choices you make and how they might be affecting those trillions of bacteria in your gut. It's all about feeding the good guys. And with just a little effort, you can cultivate a thriving gut microbiome that will support your health and vitality for years to come.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of dietary fiber. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep feeding those good gut bugs.